Good morning, good afternoon, and or evening, chat, and welcome back to the Den and to a review of the Oblivion Remaster, or as I like to call it, the Oblivion Remake, because it's not just a remaster, but it's actually been remade, so it's a whole lot more than just a remaster. Now, why am I doing this live on a stream? If you're seeing this not on the stream, it's probably been made into a breakout video for a little review on this, but Oblivion is a game near and dear to my heart. Circumstances when I was coming out of high school led to a situation where I was able to play this game because it was like the only game I had for a large amount of time. I'm talking between that and finishing up college, thousands of hours. So when they said they were going to be remastering this, you might have thought that to some degree, at some point, that I'd be really excited. But I was originally not excited for Oblivion. And the reason I was not excited for Oblivion is because they were selling the game for the same price about 18 and a half, 19 years ago when I got it for the first time and played it for the first time. It's a remaster, so there's graphical updates, but there's nothing going to change. It's going to be the same game. So I was disinterested. Everybody else comes out, plays it. I see people's hype. I see people loving it and enjoying it. I've seen some people's streams where they were playing it for the first time, and I have to say that as a veteran of this game, it was really awesome to see other people enjoying this game for the first time. Their experiences, what they were thinking it was going to be like, seeing people eat food because they thought it was going to be like Skyrim, and I'm going to be able to heal that way. There's a lot of stuff that I saw that just, as a veteran player, just really amused me, and it triggered a lot of good nostalgia fifis, and it was really enjoyable to see various other people enjoy this game for the first time or come back and re-experience it. And that got me to go, okay, I'm going to be having Game Pass anyway, so I can review South of Midnight, and so I can review Expedition 33, and there's some other games on there that I'd be interested in reviewing, but got to finish up Expedition 33 first. So I decided to play Oblivion. All right, let's have a little bit of a nostalgia trip, right? Let's get those nostalgia fifis going. And I played it. And I played a little bit of it here on stream. I've now loaded up onto my more advanced character. And honestly, the game was a bit more than just a nostalgia trip for me. It was very... it was nostalgic to play the game again, but it wasn't the same game that I remember. It wasn't the same game that was here 18 and a half, 19 years ago when it first came out on the Xbox 360. It's not even the Game of the Year edition that came out on PC way back when that I still have a physical copy of. Bethesda is known for their horse armor. They're known for that microtransaction. And something that kind of strikes me with how Bethesda is today and the way their games have been is that they introduced player houses, 4 different player houses, each sold separately. They introduced the Shivering Isles DLC, which is debatable to this day which is bigger, the base game of Oblivion or Shivering Isles. People evaluate it differently and they see it differently, but to this day, the Shivering Isles remains hands down the best piece of DLC content that has ever been put out. They basically, for half the price of what the game was at the time, put out a DLC that gave you this roughly the same amount of content, roughly the same amount of space, again, because of the debates, as the base game. Unheard of. And Bethesda hit their peak with Oblivion. So there's a lot of good nostalgic memory things about Oblivion, but that horse armor, a lot of people look at that as the big beginning to the evil microtransaction. And something hit me here recently because of all this, all those DLCs they released. They never once took the time to even lift a finger to even try to fix the leveling system. The leveling system in Oblivion, the base one, if you go on GOG, you can get a copy of this. It's 4.5 gigabytes, and you can play Oblivion in its original state. You're going to notice it's very much the same game, doesn't look quite as photorealistic, and the color palette is a bit more vibrant. That's something I miss in this, is the bit more of a vibrant color palette. But, back around to my point. You had to level certain attributes as quickly as possible because the game was broken and it didn't award you like magicka points and health points later on that it should, because you didn't have endurance or intelligence at 100 as quickly as possible. This led to an inordinate way of playing the game. You had to make sure you had skills with endurance because your skills had governing attributes, and you had to level up the skill to get a point. So when you leveled up, you would get at least +1 in that attribute, and you had to sit there and have skills so you could get 5 levels up in endurance, so that way you could get 5 points in endurance when you leveled up. The leveling system's been fixed in the remake. Skills are no longer governed by attributes. You don't have to play in this inordinate way to level up. When you level up, even if you level up your endurance or your intelligence later on, you get all the points you should have gotten. They fixed it, basically. Virtuous did what Bethesda never could, and they fixed it. This has led... Oh, also, when creating a character, you'll notice that certain skills are supposed to level more quickly when you select them as major attributes, or when you're selecting like combat, magic, stealth as like the main theme for a class. Those skills that are like stealth skills or combat skills or mage skills will get a bump and level up more quickly as well. So the quickest way to level a skill up is to have that specialization. Say like you have sneak, right? Make sneak a major skill. You pick stealth, and you'll get the most bumps, and sneak will level up as quickly as you can possibly make it, and then you just gotta, grind it all the way up to 100. This also did not work in the original Oblivion. So these being fixed, playing through this game, which I thought was going to be mostly a nostalgia trip, right? Going through here, going across the map, closing Oblivion gates, going back and doing Daedric quests, going around the map and finding different locations, hidden locations, little secrets like Fengleam, which you're going to want to look off the coast of this island. Something to look for. Really awesome. But it's a little secret. You won't get a quest for it. It's just there, right? There's hidden treasure chests all over the map. And going through and doing different quests and in doing different quests or quest lines, completing the main game again, becoming the arena of the grand champion, archmage of the mages guild, getting the ability to use your necromancy staff, and also black soul gems, etc., becoming champion of Cyrodiil, so that way you can get which I had a mess up. I wanted... Oh, I didn't put it in there. Okay. Your Imperial Dragon Armor, which I have put somewhere, and I don't remember. But all the good stuff, all the greats, all the classics, all the stuff you're looking for. Exploring Ayleid ruins for Varla stones and Welkid stones. I thought coming back in that I was basically going to be experiencing very much the same that I had before, becoming, grand champion of the arena. I thought all of this stuff would basically just be a bit of a nostalgia trip. I'd play for a little bit, a couple hours, and be like, okay, I remember this, I'm done. Right? But the leveling system being fixed, having the ability to go around and play the game in basically a whole new way, being able to fight in Oblivion gates again, and them not being as much of a pain in the butt because my skills were leveling up, and I could actually use things like illusion and whatnot to be able to get around and to be able... Oh, here it is, my Imperial Dragon stuff. To be able to get around and not necessarily have to go through the pain of the arduous fights of all the various Daedra monsters as you go through all the different Oblivion gates, all the different permutations. Even having to get to the point in the main quest where you have to go around to each city and close an Oblivion gate so you can get aid for Bruma, right? Just a lot of different stuff that I thought would be the exact same, and outside of some nostalgia, I wouldn't enjoy it. But the leveling system being fixed, attributes being fixed, skills leveling up being fixed, it honestly made for a very different experience than what I was used to. It's a much more enjoyable experience. Virtuous did an exceptional job in that regard. Outside of that, the game is very much the same. The quest lines are still short. You still pretty much, gain a rank in whatever guild after every mission you do. The main quest is still very short. And that's because everything is meant to be mixed in with each other. You're supposed to be meant to be doing a little bit of everything at the same time, or, a little bit of various things at the same time, right? And that fills in those gaps. It is an old game, still. You can tell its age in certain things, and character responses, dialogue, how NPCs will all be talking to each other at the same time. You'll have people getting stuck, blocking your view of the person you're talking to. There's a lot of stuff like that because, it's still an old game. But it is much more than just an old game now. It is different enough that I would say it's an almost completely different experience playing the original versus playing the remake. Now, I do this not just to talk about my nostalgia trip, not just to talk about how things are a little bit different, but Oblivion was a tough one to recommend back in the day because of certain idiosyncrasies with the leveling system and how it was broken. It made it difficult for some people to enjoy, but Oblivion was also the game that brought in a huge chunk of new people into the Bethesda community. It's really great stuff. All in all, this game is a worthwhile game. This is a complete game. And if you were to spend $50 getting Oblivion, I didn't spend $50. I'm playing through Game Pass, PC Game Pass, $12. So far, I've spent $36. It wasn't out that entire time, but I've spent $36 for 3 months of Game Pass. And even doing that, it was money well spent. Even if I had only spent that money, not just for South of Midnight, not just for Expedition 33, but if I'd only spent it to be able to play the Oblivion remake, it'd still be a worthwhile $36 spent. Speaking in terms of games, right? Speaking in terms of games. Now, if you were to spend $50 on this, I personally wouldn't recommend this because I paid $50 for it back in the day. That's why I wouldn't recommend spending $50. But if you have never played Oblivion, you haven't ever owned Oblivion, or even if you have before, if you were to spend $50 on Oblivion Remaster, it would be an extremely worthwhile $50 spend. Exceptional playtime value. You can get thousands of hours of play out of this game. You can run each of the races, and you can run a male and a female of each if you want, or just one of each, and heck, you can have a warrior Argonian, a thief Argonian, a mage Argonian. You can do that with each character, or you can kind of cross-class and mix in. There is so much replay value to be had here, especially once you start getting into the Shivering Isles. If you're trying to do everything, a full completionist run, and then you want to do that on another character, there's lots of playtime value here. But even if you don't, even if you just like engaging with certain parts of the game, there is still so much game here for you to experience for your money, and you will easily get more than 50 hours out of it if you're actually playing through the game in any kind of extensive way. I personally would say play this on Game Pass, save a little bit of money. But again, if you were to spend $50 on this, it would be a worthwhile $50 spent. Terms of games. But oddly enough, even though when this game came out, I thought, I'm not going to review this. Can't be worth it. Here I am reviewing it, saying it is worth it, and I give it a strong and definite recommend. The Oblivion Remaster, especially if you've never played an Elder Scrolls game, especially if you've only ever played Skyrim or ESO. This is peak Bethesda. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a must play or a must experience. It's not quite on that level, but it's rubbing butts. It's rubbing butts with must play. It's got exceptional playtime value, and this, as I said, is peak Bethesda. It's not just like peak gaming. It's more than that. Like, even if you look at Starfield, you look at all the stuff in Fallout, you even look at my personal favorite, Morrowind. Oblivion is better than them all. It is peak Bethesda, especially once you get out of Cyrodiil and you move into the Shivering Isles. strong and definite recommend. And I do want to say thank you very much for tuning in and checking out this breakout video or seeing this live on the stream. I have some Marvel Rivals to get to for the rest of my community, so I want to hear your thoughts about Oblivion down in the comment section down below. Have you played it? Have you not played it? What do you think of it? What is the price kind of factoring and matter to you on that? If you want to see more of Oblivion, let me know. We can always check out more. One of my commenters says, I love watching you be passionate about things. It's really heartening, to be honest. Well, thank you very much, Angel. Thank you very much. This is something to be passionate about, right? I mean, think about in today's world. Think about gaming. People are always talking about, oh, they're just trying to squeeze money out of you. Get all this early access crap. Games ain't finished. They want your money up front with the promise they'll finish. All these problems. Loot boxes, microtransactions, and of course, Bethesda has a new horse armor microtransaction with this game. So, but this game, even if you're not a fan of these kinds of games, this game is worth checking out. I'm not saying go out and spend $50 on it, right? Try to check it out through Game Pass. I don't know if it's on the PlayStation sub, something like that. But yeah, this is a game to be passionate about. This is a passionate recreation about a passionate game that put all of this on the map. Plus, as I said earlier, it's near and dear to my heart. My favorite will always be Morrowind, but it has been a hell of a lot of fun just nostalgia tripping through this game. But yes, I do want to say thank you very much for everyone tuning in. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. What do you think of Oblivion? What do you think of the remake? Do you think it's worth $50? Do you think that it should be bought or checked out on Game Pass? Let me know in those comment sections down below. Oh, also, I want to know what kind of characters you run. And, you know, who do you go for first? Do you go to murder somebody so you can kill a Rufio as quickly as possible? You gotta remember the password to the door. But guys, thank you very much. I gotta get to some Marvel Rivals. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the support. And we will catch you next time.